Run! You're faster than the human behind you. Much faster. You leave him behind in seconds. So you stop to breathe. Then you look back. And he's still coming. This time, don't follow the hunter. Follow the animal. Because every time you run, you're doing exactly what he wants. At first, this feels easy. One sprint and the human is gone. So you stop. That's when he starts catching up. While you recover, he risks the tracks you left behind. You run again. Your body gets hotter, your rest gets shorter, but the hunter has one weakness. If he loses your trail, you survive. This is not a race, it's a fight over who gets to recover. Every time you look back, he's closer than before. So you leave the open plain, you run for the trees. The shade buys you time, and under the leaves, your tracks begin to fade. For the first time, the hunter slows, but the trail is not gone. A broken twig, a scrape in the dirt, leaves flipped over, small clues, but enough to keep him moving. You change direction, stops, checks the ground again, then finds the narrow animal trail you used. Now the trees hide you, but they hide him too. You rest deeper in the shade. No footsteps, no movement. Maybe he lost you. You look back, nothing. Then something moved between the trunks. The same human, closer than before. On the open plain, you could see him coming. Here, you see him too late. So you run again. The forest did not end the hunt. It only made the hunter harder to see. Until now, the human had followed wherever you went, but following was no longer enough to catch you. You had to know where you would stop next. Speed was still your first defense, but it was not your best one. A faster predator could still lose you. If you turned at the last second, you could look right, then cut left, before its body could turn. The human had never seen that move, not yet, but he had learned something else. You were hot, you were thirsty, and every path through the trees led downhill. The soil grew darker, plants grew greener. He stopped following every footprint. Instead, he headed for the water. You reached the shallow stream first. You listened. Nothing. You lowered your head and drank. It felt safe. A thirst had made you easy to predict. A branch moved behind you. The human was closer than ever. For the first time, he brought the spear forward. You saw him too late. He stepped right to block your escape. So you looked right, shifted your weight right. He followed. Then you cut left. Water and dust kicked up under your hooves. The spear missed. The human stumbled past you. It worked. The same turn that could fool a faster predator had fooled the human too. But only once. Because now he had seen it. And now he knew what to watch for. First attack had failed, but it had taught him something. Always use the same trick. Quick look one way, a shift of weight, then you cut the other way. You would remember that. You run until the trees began to thin. Ahead of you, other antelope were already moving across the plain. You slipped into the herd. For a moment, you were no longer one animal, you were many. Dust rose, hooves crossed, tracks mixed together. It should have been enough. When the hunter reached the herd's tracks, he slowed, but he was not looking for your color or your horns. He was looking for the tired one. Your steps were getting shorter, your hooves dug deeper into the dirt, and you were stopping more often. He no longer needed to see you clearly. Your tracks were telling him what your body was doing, and this was the real danger. The hunt was not only about speed, it was about heat. You could run much faster than the human, but every escape made your body hotter. And to cool down, you had to stop. The human was different. He could sweat while he kept moving. He stood tall, so less of his body faced the sun, and air moved across his skin, carrying heat away. He did not need to sprint with you. He only needed to keep coming. That did not make him unbeatable. If he loses your trail, it was over. If he ran out of water, it was over. And if he pushed too hard, his body could fail too. But not yet. Not today. By now, your stops were changing. First one gave you time to breathe. The next one gave you less, then less again. Each time you stopped, he came back before you had fully recovered. That was his real weapon, not his speed. He kept cutting your rest short. Tried the shade, he found you. Crossed behind the herd, he found you again. You climbed a low rise and dropped behind it, and still he came. Then you tried to turn again. A look to the right, shift to the right. This time, the hunter did not rush in. He did not follow the fake move. He held his ground. He waited, and when you cut left, he turned. You still got away, but the turn was wider. You had to run farther, and this escape cost more than the last one. You were breathing harder. Your mouth stayed open longer, and ahead, the land opened into the sun, with less and less shade. The hunter had learned your trick. Now your tracks were showing him how tired you were. If the turn could not lose him, the hunt came down to one question. Which body would fail first, the hunter's or yours? Both of you. you. The ground opened back into the sun. Ground ahead was white, bright and empty, but a near line of rocks and last tree held small patch of shade. You saw it, so did he. And this time, the hunter did not follow your tracks. He looked at the slope, direction of the wind, and the only shade left on the plain. You had three choices. Stop under the sun, keep running until your body failed, or reach that tree. He already knew which one your body would choose. So while you ran toward the shade, the hunter moved behind the low ridge. The wind blew from you toward him. You could not smell him coming, and the ridge kept him out of sight. You reached the tree first. Your legs were shaking. Your mouth was still open, but at last you stopped. For a 5th second, nothing moved. No footsteps, no dust, no human. You had finally lost him, or so you thought. Then the hunter appeared beside the rocks, not behind you, beside you. He had not followed where you went. He had gone where you needed to stop. You looked right, shifted your weight right, then cut left. The same move that had saved you before. But the hunter was already waiting on the left. He did not rush, he did not throw the spear, only stepped into your escape path, close enough to block you, far enough to await your horns, turned the other way, back into the open sun, and the hunter let you run, because this was no longer an escape, it was the only way. He had left you. You ran again, but this run was shorter than the last one. Your steps became uneven, your front legs began to shake, the ground seemed to move under you. And when you tried to turn again, your legs could not flow. You stumbled, then fell. You tried to stand once, then again, but your body had nothing left to give. The hunter slowed to a walk. He was exhausted too. His breathing was heavy, his water was almost gone, and one mistake could still get him hurt. So he stayed outside the reach of your horns. He waited, and only when you could no longer rise did he bring the spear forward. The spear ended the hunt. But the spear had not won it. The tracks had, the heat had, your shorter rest had, and most of all, the hunter's ability to lure. You had been faster every time, but speed only mattered while your body could recover. And if you watched this far, you either enjoyed the story or you really wanted to know which body will fail first. If you want more ancient survival stories like this, you can subscribe or leave a like. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, and remember, ancient humans did not win because they were faster. They won because they learned your next move and kept coming.